This is the internet. You can judge me. So I had a concept that I wanted to realize, and I figured that concept needed a storyboard. So as I'm writing this all down, I'm imagining it in real time, how it would look. And so to not forget everything that I'm imagining, I had to illustrate it. So I thought a storyboard would be exactly what I needed to refer to when it comes time to make it. Now, that being said, I haven't drawn in, or let me rephrase that, I haven't drawn this much in probably over 2 decades. Actually, I'm wrong. I've had some projects where I drew a lot, but regardless, my drawing ability is not where it should be, given the amount of time I've had to become good at it. So I apologize in advance. I wanted it to be quick. I wanted to just get my ideas down on paper. And then I realized that I was going to struggle for a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean 4 hours and some change. Honestly, I felt like I forgot how to draw some of these things that I'm trying to draw. Like I don't remember the last time I drew a tree. I don't remember the last time I drew a bush or a cloud. Probably in kindergarten. Anyways, I wanted to at least get everything down that I wanted to put in the video. So everything that you see on paper is stuff that I want to put inside the video, at least visually. I might be over ambitious. I might be way too ambitious for what I'm wanting to do. But I'm in a position where I have the time to invest, so perhaps this is just the first step to something I can't even imagine, because I've literally never done this before. So, should I talk about the scene? I mean, as you saw earlier in the storyboard, I wanted it to be a stormy setting. I wanted to convey a sense of urgency. I wanted to introduce a couple of characters subtly. I didn't want to fully reveal who they were. But if you're a fan of the subject that this video is going to be about, you already know who it is. So yeah, basically I'm introducing Professor X and Jean Grey, but very, very subtly. It's not obvious. I guess it is obvious. I wrote down Jean, but visually, it's not obvious. So I finished basically two scenes. This is going to be the more difficult part of introducing more, what should I say? Basically introducing the Lego aspect, or the I guess the more what am I trying to say? The plot. Is that right? The plot. Yeah. I'm trying to introduce the plot. So basically, the way this scene starts is the camera pans down a road, and in the distance there's a pile of bricks. And I shouldn't really call it a road, it's more like a path or a walkway. So as the pile of bricks enter the camera, they get closer. It becomes more obvious what's about to happen. There's going to be a sequence that happens. And illustrating this was a huge challenge to me for some reason, because I didn't know how to portray it in a drawing of exactly what I wanted to happen. And I really don't know how I'm going to portray this in the form of Lego. That's it. I have no idea, basically. And I might have to invest in some extra equipment to make this happen, for me to get this right at least. I don't know if I can take shortcuts on this. So this part of the scene, I'm just finishing details. I struggled quite a bit with this one. As you see me pause and I don't really do anything, I'm trying to like figure out what's missing in the scene. And if there's nothing missing, to continue with the side details. Sometimes I wasn't sure if I was near completion. Sometimes I sat there and thought, am I done? Because I have a bad habit of spending time on things that don't matter. I also tend to overcomplicate things if it's not obvious already. This, by the way, this is a speed up or a time modification of 10x. This whole thing took me 4 hours and some change. I don't know if I've said that already, but I had to speed it up 10x to make this watchable. Can't imagine trying to watch someone figure out what they're trying to draw for 4 hours. That would be miserable. I figured 30 minutes is more than long enough. Alright, so I suppose I'm finished with that. The next part of the scene is the close-up of the pile of bricks. This was quite difficult because my ability to draw 3D shapes is very limited, especially in a asymmetric pile that I'm trying to a pile I'm trying to convey. A pile of bricks is never going to look like this. I just couldn't fathom the amount of time I would have spent making a 3D appearance in this pile of bricks. So everything is like a side view of the pile of bricks. No weird angles. No vertices. I guess there are vertices, but no third dimension. I'll just keep it at that. I also wanted bricks to appear to levitate from the pile. That was not an easy attempt, basically. I don't know if I conveyed it clearly, but so I wanted it to appear that Gene was lifting bricks up from the pile. And I wanted to to appear as a pile of bricks. You know, you draw like 10 bricks. It's not really a pile. Pile of bricks to me is like 30 plus. I didn't count how many are in this pile, but I believe the idea is clear. So this is basically it, I think, with this third scene. I'm just finishing up details, the shade in the sky. And then we start the fourth scene, which requires the most drawing. Oh yeah, shading with a 0.5mm pencil lead is not ideal, by the way. Probably should have went with the smudging technique here to shade a little bit better. It appears though it's raining in that scene, but I don't know if I want to incorporate that in. I mean, I could, I guess, but so in this scene, I wanted there to be a wall that Jean was assembling, and I often had to stop and look at the illustrations of the set that I'm going to be talking about soon in a review. I kind of wanted to make it similar, not perfectly. I didn't want to perfectly replicate what I was looking at, but I just wanted to make it look similar at least. So I wanted it to make it look like the wall was being assembled in air. This is where Jean visually comes into the scene. And I had an idea for how I would reveal her in recording. I don't know if it's possible, but basically I want the wall to be, you know, the main centerpiece, but then I want the wall to like move around Jean to the point where the camera reveals Jean moving the wall. There was no way I was going to be able to draw what that looks like, but I kind of I want the camera to pan around the wall. So perhaps like the camera view would be behind the wall, and so you're watching the wall be assembled, and then the camera moves in a way that goes around the wall but also goes over the wall to show Jean building it. I think that would be a good way to reveal her. I really should use the right tools for shading. I have a graphite pencil I could use for shading next time. I probably will do that instead of trying to shade with a thin piece of lead. So this last part of the scene, I kind of wanted to portray a montage, a building montage, where this set that I referred to earlier comes together. For those that are familiar with the set I'm referring to, it's obvious. For those that don't know yet, the set I'm referring to, it is the X Mansion. It's a fairly new set from Lego. It's a Marvel set that I don't remember the set number right off the top of my head, but I had to stop multiple times to look at the illustrations of the set to make this look right. And there was a lot of details that I did not illustrate, but I was already at over the 4-hour mark when I was done, so I didn't want to spend another 4 hours on trying to replicate the illustrations, but I think I got the ideas on paper, and that's what matters. So thinking about the scope of this, I probably should have thought about it some more, because if I had to guess, if I accomplish this, the scope of this is going to be it's going to be much greater than I had anticipated. when you're imagining things, I suppose the scope is always much greater than reality, but I intend to do every bit of this, and that's scary to me. Maybe I need to speed this up 15x instead of 10x. That would make the video, how long would that make the video? $20 minutes? That might be better. I might speed it up next time. I plan on doing much more of this. But the next, my next project though is going to be the stop motion, so. That will be a different method. I'm thinking like at least 30 frames for every second of the stop motion video. That's the idea. So for however long I want the video, for every second there's going to be 30 frames at least. So if I did like a 2-minute video, what is that, 120 seconds times 20, not 20, 30, 120 seconds times 30, what is that? That's a lot. That's 3,600 frames. I think that's right. I think I can do math. So yeah, I have an amazing project in front of me that I'm going to thoroughly enjoy, because I think if I didn't, I would not do this. But yeah, you get the idea on this last part of the scene. Gene is putting together the X mansion. Professor X watches. I don't know if I wanted to include other characters in helping assemble this set. I could do that. I don't know if I want to. There's numerous other characters that I could bring into the scene, but I don't know if I want to go that route. So yeah, there it is. I'm finished. I got the 4 scenes together. It's like 8 parts. Then I realized I wasn't done because I didn't shade the first scene. I wanted it to be cohesive. It's really not that important, but if you haven't learned yet, I'm extra, and I don't know when things are done. So this is just me filling out the background of the cloud scenes. But thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Links are in the bio. Thanks.